What do you recall about driving in China, Seamilk?
I recall it being the most harrowing thing in the entire world. I will say this, that Vietnam was maybe more dangerous than China. But no, China was more deadly, though, because in Vietnam, it's much slower riding.
Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely slower. But in China, you got highways and stuff, right? Which is very scary.
I found, when you drive in China, it's slow going.
Yeah.
All the time. That's why on our little 125 bikes, we could always be faster than anyone on the road. But the one thing that's terrible about China is it's all about aggressive driving.
Yeah.
And it's selfish driving.
It's the opposite of defensive driving.
Yeah. You will find, if you want to merge, nobody lets you merge.
No.
You have to actually force your way in.
You do. A little anecdote. I was with my dad in the car. Mm-hmm. And I was in my, that blue Lexus I had?
Yeah.
So I was sitting in a traffic circle for probably about, 20 minutes in the traffic circle, right? And people are just making 4 lanes of traffic in front of you, right?
Yeah.
And my dad he lost his mind. He was just like, what is going on? He just couldn't believe how people could be so rude.
Yeah.
And it's just how it is. It's brutal.
And when you grow up in that environment, or at least that's where you learn to drive, you get that experience. Yeah. You just have to adapt.
It never doesn't become stressful, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. You adapt. So you become that kind of person.
Yeah.
You're like, do not let people in.
Yeah.
I know normally when you drive around, you merge. Anyway, what we've got here behind us is a clip of that exact kind of situation and how people, what they have to resort to allow themselves to actually get in.
Look at this.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clever.
It's pretty awesome. People will probably get mad at this, but that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so spot on. By the way, that is the perfect car that would do that.
Yeah, of course.
I saw a lot of those with dead people in them, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Those things crumple like crazy. That's like the upgrade of the bread box van that you get around China.
Oh, yes.
The cheapest car. This bothered the absolute piss out of me.
Okay, explain. This is all you.
I see a headline like this, and this is exactly in line with what we're talking about. We're talking about investment in things that shouldn't be invested in, right? One of those is the Chinese auto industry, and it's something that we have been so disappointed by so many times. Not just personal ownership of Chinese vehicles, because we've had that as well.
We both bought. Actually, no, yours is a joint venture one.
Yes, but not just cars. We're talking about everything.
The motorcycles, everything.
We've probably bought 30 Chinese vehicles.
That's true.
Right.
Brand new, by the way. Bought brand new cars in China. Chinese. I bought a 100% Chinese car.
Yes.
You bought a joint venture, Suzuki and Chinese company, Lingmu or whatever, right?
Yeah, Lingmu Suzuki.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, this is the industry that people keep talking about. This is the next big thing, right?
Right.
And we've just seen the piss poor quality of the Chinese auto industry, and it hasn't really improved. And that's the problem, is that just because they're flooding the market with these vehicles doesn't mean that it's anything worth writing home about, right?
Sure.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. When you see investment profile people saying you should invest in Chinese AI technology, you also see articles like this. This is in Bloomberg. It says, the U.S. hasn't noticed that China-made cars are taking over the world, okay? And it says, the country is poised to become number 2 exporter of passenger vehicles, surpassing the U.S. and South Korea and risking new tensions in trading partners and rivals, right? So you look at this headline and you go, wait, what have I been missing? Because I'm a China watcher. You are too, right? Like, I've just been blindsided. I haven't been paying attention long enough, And you read through the article, and I pasted it in the description.
Yeah.
And what it actually is that China they've made too many domestic vehicles. They've made too many low-cost, bad-quality vehicles, and they flooded their own market, and they have excess stock.
Yeah, because Chinese people do not buy Chinese cars.
No, if they have the
choice.
Yeah.
The choice.
Never. They will
people
never.
with the means.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they have this huge influx. It's kind of like the whole shared bike situation. They've made too much crap, right? And they have to take this crap, and they have to offload it onto other countries that they've made economic deals with, right?
Right.
So I was reading through some of the comments, and people in Canada and the UK and people in England, they go, I've never seen a Chinese car in my life. What is this article talking about?
Yeah.
Until you read the article. And what it is, again, they flooded these kind of third world markets with all these crappy cars, right? And nobody is celebrating this. This isn't actually, it's actually an indicator of a downfall of the Chinese economy. Because what it is they've saturated their own market with stuff that nobody wants. They have to offload it almost at a loss in a way to all of these other countries to people that don't even necessarily want them anyway. They already have economic deals with the Chinese government that they kind of have to take this stuff in.
Yeah.
Right. So you're in a situation here where it's actually a sign of China's economy doing bad things. It's going down. They're making too much stuff that they can't recoup their costs on.
Yeah, they have to sell it at a loss.
So the U.S. hasn't noticed that China-made cars are taking over the world. Well, no, it's actually the opposite. Nobody wants the China-made cars, and they're forced to buy them, basically.
It's an interesting situation because, like you say, Chinese cars end up in kind of developing markets. So, for instance, South Africa, where I'm from, you can buy Chinese cars there. They've got the Great Walls and stuff like that there.
Australia as well.
Yeah, but
weirdly enough.
Yeah, I mean, well, Australia belongs to China, so
true,
they're just like, you better sell our stuff here,
Yeah.
okay? Otherwise, we're going to stop importing your wine or whatever. And they're like, oh, please, master, give us a break. Anyway, quite seriously, though, in South Africa, we always get the crap cars. Like, we got the Tatas, from India. The
Tata Nanos.
No, we got the Tata Indica or whatever, which is like a pickup truck.
Indica?
I think
Isn't that like a marijuana strain?
I don't even know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Indica, whatever. I remember when it was released.
Sure.
And everyone was like, wow, how can it cost so little for like a pickup truck or whatever? It's a piece of junk, falls apart.
Sure.
Like, you don't want it.
Sure.
Same with the Chinese cars.
Yeah.
In South Africa, people would rather buy like a 30-year-old Toyota that's beat to shit than a brand new Chinese car.
You see that that's indicative in the secondhand prices you've shown me.
Yeah.
When we look stuff up, it's insane how much crap costs.
Yeah.
Compared to a new Chinese car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people want the old stuff that works.
Yeah, the stuff that won't let you down and won't break. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, these misleading headlines.
That's what I was getting
are
at.
really just annoying because you see them all over the place, and it's part of this artificial push to try and make people invest in China. You're seeing it all over. I don't know what's behind it. I don't know who's behind it.
I think it's pretty easy to figure out. It's people that have already invested in China. They don't want to see their assets and their investments go by the wayside.
Yeah. But that's why you see all these headlines coming out and this massive push to, hey, it's time to invest in China. China's a great investment opportunity.
Let's
blah,
forget
blah,
about
blah.
all the times they've stabbed us in the back.
Yeah, let's forget about the downturn in the economy right now. Let's forget about all the big problems that they face. The lockdowns destroyed supply chains. Let's also just forget about the huge housing crisis that's going on, the collapse of that. Let's forget about the human rights abuses.
All that stuff doesn't matter.
Let's forget about the fact that they keep threatening to declare war on Taiwan. Let's forget about the fact that they are backing Russia in its invasion of Ukraine. Let's forget about all this other junk and let's just move on type thing. It's really, really, really frustrating.
It's insane.
So, good thing you pointed that out. That's an interesting picture that they chose there, by the way.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool animation. I got the credit in there, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. Fun. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Wow, so good.
It is kind of like that.
It also reminds me of this a little bit. I just don't know why.